I'm gonna hit
Oh,
record.
there we go.
Hi, Tina! Yay!
All right, where's Alice?
I'll give you a peek. I don't feel like I look very cute, but oh well.
You're scared.
I'll take it off. Okay, there we go. I don't know if it's still not coming on. See, even my computer doesn't want me to show my face. Okay.
Hi, Rachel. How are you?
Down at the bottom.
All right. Let's get started because we have 40 minutes, but now minus 7 minutes, I think. So I'm gonna get rolling.
Okay.
Oops, I muted me. Get me to do that.
Did I mute you? I was trying to put my video on it.
Okay. Oh, I muted you, Alice. Sorry. But there's still crazy feedback. There we go. All right. I got everyone muted. Perfect. Okay. Now, share the screen. Where's my button? We're getting there. Okay, here we go, guys. Yay. So I guess first off, I want to congratulate you on your first week. And Tina, your repeat week of kicking off ISF Fuel 42. So, I was gonna pull open the little handout. Did you guys get a chance? I don't know why that won't pull open. Hello. There it goes. Okay. Did you guys get a chance to print out the handouts or at least study it over a little bit? Because that's really, you guys got to put those on your fridge. Use the food lists, absolutely. Start to get used to them because really we just kind of recategorized, right? We had this nice umbrella of the normal macros, and then we just shifted things around a little bit just to simplify it. So, so we still have our veggies, and then we have our proteins, and then we separated out the fibrous carbohydrates. So those are kind of our three main food groups that we're working with, if you will. Whereas if you've done anything else in the past, it's kind of umbrella differently. So that's how we're going to focus. And so I kind of wanted to just show you this overview. So this is what we're going to talk through. We're going to talk through how to just plate up, how you're going to do your plated fuel. So I'm kind of excited about it. Okay. So week 2, here we go. Maybe. Come on, friend. There we go. So our mental shift for this week. And in a second, I do want to hear how your mental shift for last week went. So that was fueling your body like the athlete that you are. So how did that go for you? What did it feel like? Did it make things feel differently? I really want to hear some insights. So this week, kind of similar, but fuel your body for what it needs to do. And so this is going to just take it a step farther, I think, and really applying how that food comes into play for you in your life. And that's, as we dish up, that's what we're doing. So our breakfast looks a little bit different than our dinner because it's the beginning of the day when you need a lot of energy versus the end of the day when things are wrapping up on the energy expenditure side. So I'm going to unmute you in just a second. Oh, I left my food tracker upstairs. Hopefully I can remember some of my meals to just talk through with you guys. So first off, I want to hear some successes. So we probably don't have time to hear from everyone. So what I'm going to do, where's my little manage participants button? I'm going to just unmute you guys and one at a time and tell me either a reflection that you have, like what did you feel like changed, or a small win. And seriously, when we open up this brag table, that's what I like to call it, the brag table, it can be anything, big or small. Just small wins and celebrating those wins makes a huge difference, you guys. And that's what it's all about, just these little baby steps and really noticing those wins and celebrating them. And then if you have any questions for the upcoming week. So go ahead, Alice, you're going to kick us off. I'm going to unmute you. And
Yay.
if you're not quite sure where to start, I can start us off. So any
Okay.
thoughts?
That really, it stayed in my head by what you said about water for the win.
Yes.
And that was just kind of funny how, like, well, in the morning you said keep it by your bed, and one morning I was like getting ready and I looked over and had my water and I thought, oh, I should have, because you said that would help with energy. And so I thought, oh, that's, it was in my head, and I looked over there and I thought, I got to do that. I got to get more water in. So that's really stuck with me. And remember, I told you one day I was walking in and I was just kept saying it, water for the win, water for the win. that has really stuck with me. I think that, and I know I've got to begin, at the start and drinking more water. And I think about it, but I don't always do it. And it helps to, when I buy the bottled water and put it in the fridge, I drink way more. So I've been doing that. And
nice. Good.
So,
like last week, you drank more water than the week before?
So, yeah, I think I did. Well, in the morning I did. I have to be honest, I didn't. Probably the rest of the day, but I remember in the morning I did a little bit better. Like when you were saying, drink it in the morning before you get out the door.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try harder to do that. But
that's great.
Yeah, and I always notice, I always usually have a banana or a half a banana in the morning, and it always just seems to keep me going for that hour. I can't imagine that would help for 2 hours if I worked out 2 hours, but that hour, the banana always seems to keep me, because I don't want to eat a big breakfast before I can work out. So
totally. Yeah. That's great. Okay. All right. I'm going to move forward. Who's up next? Let's see. Oh, I have someone joining in just with a phone number. Who are you, phone number person? Our 891 number, 7029. I don't know.
That's Jeff.
Oh, hey, Jeff, what's up?
Not much.
How did the week go for you?
On the water? Well, last week I drank about an average of about 160 ounces a day.
Wow, that's awesome. So you are rocking the water for the win. That's awesome. How did vegetables, implementing the veggies, how'd that go?
I've added more. I'm averaging about 2 to 3 per meal.
Oh, nice. Good. All right. So did you have you done any weighing in the first day and maybe like yesterday or today?
No, haven't got on the scale yet, so I can't answer that.
Okay. All right. Well, tomorrow morning, that's my challenge for you, is you gotta know where that starting point is, and then the more often you can step on the scale, that's just going to turn into your accountability buddy, instead of this unknown thing that sometimes can feel scary to step on. So that's my challenge for you tomorrow, if you feel up for it. I think sometimes it does take a little mental prep, but then once you get in the routine, it does turn into that accountability buddy. So that's awesome. Glad you're on the call. Okay, I'm going to move to Rachel. Rachel, so I saw on social media you're rocking veggies. Good job.
Yeah, I had a couple really good days, and I had a few that were not as great. But the biggest challenge I found was breakfast. Trying to get my kids fed and like getting stuff made that was leading with the veggies. That was a challenge to kind of come up with. So I ended up doing omelets a few days with stuffed full of veggies, and then the other days I would do shakes and mix in more fruits than veggies, but I'd always get my like power greens in there. So that's what I mostly did there. But it was kind of a struggle thinking, how do I implement veggies for breakfast? Like that's just not normal for our society.
Yeah.
So
totally.
Well, so that was a total change.
Yeah. I was just going to say, you're going to learn today, veggies at breakfast are actually extra credit. So you get A+++ from last week.
So I started my day well, and then some days it wouldn't last all day, that I wasn't as great all day long. But I did have a few good days, like you saw, where I spiralized some zucchini for a meal and replaced noodles for that, and stuff like that. So, I mean, I was trying and to do better meals, but snacking is still hard for me. I feel just that draw where I need something to do with my mouth, my hands and my mouth, and snacking is that. So I'm trying to find an alternative to that right now. So.
All right, we're going to touch on that too. So good. Cool. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, Tina, I'm going to click on you.
Okay.
That didn't work. Let's see. Meow.
Yep. You got me.
I know, I'm just trying to mute the background. Oh, maybe we're both trying to do it. Okay. All right. So just planning ahead for this week, Tina. So I'm going to pick on you a little bit. Is there anything you foresee for this week? Or how can we tweak things for you from last week? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I want to, my goal is to start to do more vegetables, figure out where I can put them in. But I'm getting kind of excited about these mason jar salads.
Cool.
So if I do it at the beginning of the week, then I have my refrigerator full of salads that I can use that they're already done, and I can use them throughout the week.
Yeah.
But I guess the biggest thing that I really liked was your email that you sent last week, because the afternoon is always hard for me. When you want to snack, you're feeling hungry, but just drink water. I mean, just to go through the steps: drink water, have the vegetable, protein to fill you up. So I like that there's something that I can do. I don't have to just be hungry or start snacking. I can follow steps.
Absolutely. Good. Good feedback. Thank you all for sharing. Okay, so we're going to slide on into it. So really what my beef has been, you like that verbiage there, with past meal planning things, and it just always seemed really overwhelming to me of like, when was I going to implement what type of food group? And so that's why I just really wanted to simplify for you guys. And so this is what we're going to do. We have split up. I have a breakfast plate, a lunch plate, and a dinner plate. And, this kind of system was inspired by a Beachbody system called the 2B mindset. But in alignment with that, I have researched probably about 5 other really like specified meal plans that I've used and I've kind of liked or didn't like, and different stuff like that. So I've kind of tweaked it around and made it to where I really feel like I can eat like this for the rest of my life. And I think that's really important because that takes us away from those fad diets. It carries us through holidays. It carries us through vacationing, because this is something that you can maintain. And that's what I'm all about, finding a good flow to your eating so you're not up and down and on and off. And, this is life. This is life. And we have to eat every day. So let's figure out a good game plan for you to show up and feel your body right. So for breakfast, we're at the very start of our day, obviously, and we want energy. And where do we get energy? We get it from carbohydrates. That's our body's number one fuel source. It wants to run off carbohydrates. And so we're going to put carbohydrates into our breakfast, and not simple sugary ones. We're going to get high fiber, our fibrous carbs. And so that's where you get to refer back to that list from week 1. Those fibrous carbohydrates that we have listed. So a lot of fruits are included in that as well. Your whole wheat breads, your brown rice, and your fruits are kind of the main part of that list. And then you do have some vegetables that end up on there just because they're higher on the carb count. The other part of your plate for breakfast, or your bowl, whatever you're eating out of, is going to be protein. And so protein really helps us feel full for longer. So have you guys ever had, like a really good example of this is just a bowl of oatmeal, and you'll feel really full at first. And then I feel like 2 hours later, I'm super hungry again. And it's because you've pretty much burned it up. And so by having protein, it's just going to help you feel satiated longer. So that's a really awesome thing that protein does for us. So that's breakfast. So just nice and simple. Oh my word, I don't know why that's being so difficult. So here's a few ideas for you. And in the handouts that I have, I think I've included all of these. I can't remember for sure, but I give you a list of just simple breakfast ideas. So you can, and simple lunch, all of them. I give you just simple meal ideas so you can kind of get in the flow of what these look like. So one of my favorite breakfasts, or I'll do it for a snack, is a berry pseudo cheesecake. So it's half Greek yogurt, 0 to 2% low fat. And then I'll mix it with cottage cheese, or I'll just do the Greek yogurt, however. And I'll usually look on the side of the container and just see what the serving size is. So I think the Greek yogurt I have in my fridge now is like 3/4 of a cup. And so if I am mixing it with cottage cheese, I'll just kind of do about half of that. And then I'll do cottage cheese, about half of what the cottage cheese one is. And I just get a serving size basically. And that's worked really well for my body. Now for your body, you might just want to scoop it in and see how it feels. And you don't want to look at the serving size. And you know what? That's an okay thing to do, because as we continue to log and track your weight, you're going to find what works for you and where you feel full and satiated. So I've found that I feel really full with about a serving, and that's a good size for my body. So anyway, I've got kind of that creamy part, and then I'll just put on top those frozen berries, and I'll mix it together. And sometimes I'll add seeds or just those flavor pops that we had on our list from last week. And it is seriously so delicious. And that's a really great one for my body, getting that protein and the carbohydrates. I'll eat that about an hour before boot camp. Oh my gosh, let me turn that off. So I'll get that about an hour before boot camp, and it fuels me good. Like that'll last me the full 2 hours. How do I turn this off? I don't know, you guys. Hopefully that doesn't start buzzing like crazy, because it's going to. All right, moving on. So we've got nutty oats. So a serving of oatmeal with nuts. Oh, fairies. That sounds delicious. Probably supposed to be berries. A touch of stevia. And putting with our oats is 2 slices of bacon. And I actually did this twice over the weekend. I did that on Sunday and on Saturday. And that just really filled me up. I didn't feel like I had to keep munching on things through the morning, because I was just full, satiated, and had lots of energy. Egg whites are a great option. You can do regular eggs as well. I do regular eggs a lot. And just some toast. And then you can either do peanut butter for a flavor pop, PB2. Has anyone tried PB2 before? It's like the powdered peanut butter, so it's way less fat. You just add water and kind of mix it together. My last idea for you is an egg cup. So just prepping, and Rachel, this might be something that will help you, is you just do it in a muffin tin, and you can make them different flavors too, so you don't get sick of them. So you could do like turkey bacon in one, regular bacon in one, ham in one, and then you can put different veggies inside of those little egg cups, and you can actually freeze them too, and then just microwave them on the day that you want to bust them out. Okay, so any questions? You can unmute yourself. Any questions with breakfast so far? Feeling okay? Getting some ideas flowing, hopefully. Okay, so simplifying your lunch. So now what we're gonna do, and this has seriously like changed my life this past year, just going half veggies, and then 1/4 of it is the fibrous carbohydrates, and 1/4 of it protein. So from there, you know, you can have your flavor pops. You could add oils if it's going to be a salad. Like we'll talk through a couple different things. But really, and you know, everything you eat isn't going to be perfectly like that. It could be on top of each other, but I really feel like you can still eyeball almost anything you're eating and be like, yeah, that's about half veggies. And then you're good from there. And I'm just going to point out again, before you're eating your meals, you are drinking your water, right? And then you're diving in with those veggies first. So here's some lunch ideas. Tina mentioned she's going to start rocking the mason jar salads, which is awesome and so fun. And so my tips for you, either put the salad dressing in a separate container or do it on the bottom like that with some of your thicker veggies that aren't going to get all goopy. Because I have done early on, I did mason jar salads and I just dumped the dressing on top, and then by day 2 it just was all ruined. So you can take that note and run with it. So here's our example of a chicken salad. So plate of salad. I really like to, when I have cucumbers, I'll just pre-cut them, get them ready to go. Same with bell peppers. That's usually like my Sunday thing. If I have veggies that aren't chopped yet, I'll just chop them up because then they're ready to roll. And then you guys will probably hear me say 100 times, I usually will keep a rotisserie chicken around if I haven't been able to make my own chicken. Right now I have like 3 more chicken breasts cooked, and then today I did a crock pot chicken. So I'm like swimming in chicken right now. And Dee doesn't really like chicken, so I'll keep some frozen steaks around for him. And he's pretty good about just cooking his own thing sometimes. Side note, but the American Heart Association recommends like 2 to 3 red meat meals per week, and that's it. And I think that's something that as a society, we're consuming a lot of cholesterol through red meat that we're not really noticing, you know? So anyway, all right. So with this chicken salad, you can see that we've got the salad, maybe some bell peppers and cucumbers, nice and crispy, right? And so that's going to be our 50%. And then for chicken, that's going to be about 25% onto the plate. And then you could do like a corn tortilla with some cheese on top. I think those little 6-inch corn tortillas, technically 2 of them are 1 serving. So you could have like a closed quesadilla or 2 open-faced, however you like it. Or you can make little tacos out of it. Same thing, right? Tuna fish crunch salad. I'm going to move on. This one's super yummy. So I really like to just mix either plain yogurt with it. I don't know if you guys have ever tried that instead of mayonnaise. It still gives that creaminess to it. Or just the tuna with straight up like Tapatio sauce. That's kind of fun. It makes it really spicy. Cucumbers added and celery. I really like the crunchiness to stuff. So even cabbage, and actually got cabbage upstairs. Ooh, I might make that tomorrow. I haven't made that in a long time. And then I love like chopping up the apples. So apples are going to be your fibrous carbohydrate in this example. Okay. So if you take a full apple, that's going to be, 25%. That'll be a good source of your energy through the afternoon. And then sunflower seeds for that flavor pop. You're getting some oils. The avocado, about what is it, like 2 tablespoons scoop of avocado is about a good serving size. And then a nice citrusy vinaigrette. I actually saw a dietitian making I think it was actually a tuna fish type salad, and she used the mandarin oranges, like canned mandarin oranges, and I think she drained a little bit of the juice but kept most of it, and she used that to toss in like a tuna fish salad, and then just added like a touch more of was it a white wine vinegar? I don't know, some other vinegar, but it looked super yummy. And then we have an open-faced chicken sandwich. So anytime that you are having a type of sandwich at your lunch, I like to think of it as just hats off. You just take that off, because when you visualize that burger or that sandwich, you've got the top and bottom, right? So that's almost making it 50% or sometimes more. Sometimes those gourmet buns are like gigantic. Maybe it's 75% carbohydrates. So if you just take the hat off, then you've got pretty much 25%. So it just balances the meal a lot better. And then what I'll do is just ask for extra lettuce and maybe even extra tomatoes. And so it ends up like stacking this burger. Sometimes I'll have to use a fork and knife, but you're getting more and more like 50% veggies, right? Even though it's all stacked on top of each other, and you've got your 25% meat, 25% carb, and then your veggies on top. So that's kind of a fun one to play with. And a lot of restaurants will do lettuce wrapped sandwiches. Even like In-N-Out Burger, you can do, I think it's called like Atkins style or something. And you can get it without a bun altogether. And then wraps. This has been my jam for like 2 months. I don't know what my deal is, but I just get like the spinach wraps from the store, and I've got my chicken, and then I get my pre-made salad bags from the store, and it's the easiest, yummiest lunch. And then if I have tomatoes, I'll toss them in, bell peppers, anything on hand as far as veggies, I'll just stuff it full. So did that give you guys some good ideas for lunch? Just fresh, easy, quick? Good. Tina, I'm so glad to have your thumbs up your head instead of just the black names. It helps me remember that you guys are probably nodding. I'd hope so. All right, so snack time. This is what Tina was talking about. So I just talked to you guys through how to do your afternoon snack. And especially for you boot campers that are waking up so early, if you need a morning snack, you can try to follow this same type layout. That's what I typically do. And in the morning, if I'm just not feeling a veggie, that's okay. You just gotta like roll with what your body needs. So anyway, always start with your water for the win. And then what I like to do, because usually, especially in the afternoon, my brain is like, you need chocolate, you need carbs, you need sugar to give that pick-me-up. Your body's just kind of tired. And so it's wanting that pick-me-up. And so I almost use it as a type of reward for myself of like, I'm not going to start there. I'm going to push it off for a few minutes, and I am going to delay that carb game, and I'm going to start with veggies. And the coolest thing happens when I start with veggies. Guess who else wants veggies? Sam will come eat some carrots with me, or Callie will come eat some carrots, or they don't really like the snap peas, but I'll bust open some of them and they'll eat just the pea inside. And so when you guys set the tone in your house, your husband or your wife or whoever's around, they'll usually join in. And maybe not at first, but they will eventually, I promise. I hear it from my challengers and personal training clients all the time. People come along when they see you setting the tone. So with your afternoon snack, you're going to dish it up similar to your lunch, but smaller portions, right? So I'd start with just like a baggie of carrots. This is a normal thing for me. And our flavor pops are to help you eat more veggies. So we've got like string cheese is a great one, or other cheeses, or you've got some hummus, stuff like that to help you eat your veggies. And then if I'm still feeling hungry after my veggie, then I'm going to move into my protein if I haven't already. A lot of times I'll do those just kind of hand in hand. Like I said, like a string cheese is great. Good source of protein there. And then if I'm still hungry, bam, game on. So a great, you've got like fiber-filled crackers. If you're a cracker person, you could do some toast. You could do just anything from our fibrous carbohydrates. You could eat an apple or another piece of fruit, a banana, something like that. So here's a few snack ideas, even though I just went through a few of them. So yeah, I love sugar snap peas. I love just keeping some veggies on hand that I can just grab that I haven't really had to prep. So sometimes, yeah, they are sliced up cucumbers. I was telling Tina last week I did sliced cucumbers just in some white vinegar with like a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt, and then they just kind of pickle. They get really, I just like vinegar stuff. I'm going to throw that out there. They were so good. So just keeping stuff ready to grab is going to be a game changer. And the easier it is, the better. 10 minutes. What? Okay. So let's see. I already kind of talked through that. Oh, yeah. Cottage cheese is a great lean option. Get the low fat kind. What we've seen in studies is that the high fat things can definitely fill you up, and the non-fat can make you eat more of it because your body's not getting that satiated feeling. So it actually has caused, they've seen with like non-fat stuff, over time people are eating more calories because of that. But with this sway back to, go all fat, do that, at the end of the day, the more fat, the more calories. And so when you're not super careful with it, you end up not, going in the direction of weight loss that you're wanting to, right? You're actually starting to gain weight because the fat has more calories in it. So that's where over time, the most successful studies that they've seen with weight loss are a low fat diet. And so that's where I've kind of gauged this program as well. Like, yeah, have your fats, and especially if they're going to help you eat more veggies. And that's an okay thing, but overall aim for low fat things, and that's going to help keep you on track. Does that make sense? So, all right. Oh yeah, Shakeology mid-afternoon is awesome. That always helps keep me on track, and after dinner if I'm still hungry. And then those protein balls that are awesome. Okay, so dinner, we want to make sure to talk through dinner real quick. So dinner, this has been just like lunch for me, a total game changer. So if I was to ask you guys, what do you not see at dinner? You'd be like, holy beep, there's no carbohydrates. And that took me a long time to figure out really how to balance my carbohydrates with any meal, because I have always been an endurance athlete. And so my habits were really, really hard to break. So I feel ya. I really do. But here's the thing. This program is to help you focus on what you can have, not like, oh my gosh, I can't have carbohydrates at dinner. That's not what I want you to think. I want you to look at this and think, okay, how can this work for me? And if you need some carbohydrates at dinner to just, have kind of this segue as you're kind of getting things in place for yourself and moving in this direction, I promise you can do it over time, because I did. But even more so than that, the cool thing about having this many veggies at dinner is that you're going to find really fun ways to do it. So just on Sunday, I looked up a new recipe. So cauliflower rice, hands down, is going to change your life. Cauliflower rice is, I have a picture for you guys, is a great way to get the same type of satiation, and you can even eat like way more of it and get way full without that like really heavy feeling. So you can see this in just 100 grams, or like one serving, basically, you're getting 23 calories with your cauliflower rice versus regular rice. And this is like brown rice too. So you're getting way less carb count and pretty similar protein. And the same goes like when you're doing your zoodles for dinner, or whatever you're finding to replace it. And there's like a new Agasaki, what was it? Oh, I put it on the food list. It's a noodle. And I put it on, it counts as a veggie, and it's a noodle. And it's made out of like, I'm butchering that word, but it's made out of mushrooms. And so it stinks like terrible when you open it up, but it ended up tasting just fine. So anyway, we'll have to look at that one. But you're going to have a lot of fun is what I'm saying. Just try different recipes and make it fun. Make dinner fun. And like I said, if you need to just have some little carbohydrates here or there to kind of ease the road for you, then do it. And this is all about feeling guilt-free and seeing what works for your body. And I can tell you that when I do choose to treat myself to a different type of dinner, it always reflects on the scale. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like I had a burrito last night with dinner, so I had like the tortilla and stuff, and it reflects on the scale. And it's not a bad thing, but it's something that I've realized for my body. When I go to bed with 75% veggies in my stomach, I kind of sleep better too. Like it just feels better overall. So here's some ideas for you. You've got lettuce wrap tacos. Just getting rid of the tortilla at dinner is going to really help you towards your goals. Sloppy Joes over butternut squash or a summer type squash. My family's actually really liked that. Dee actually really liked that meal. That was yummy. Cauliflower Japanese creamy rice wraps. I don't remember making that one, but oh yeah, I do. Yeah. So with a low-fat mayo and then just sriracha sauce, it was kind of like a sushi. It was really yummy. And then up here, spaghetti squash or zoodles with marinara. That's probably our family's favorite, one of our favorites. And if you do like ricotta cheese and you just layer that through a bowl, it's a really easy lasagna. And so that's super yummy too. Okay, so I've had Jeff ask me this, and I've actually had quite a few people ask me this specifically, and this I added for you guys because I've had more and more people ask me, what do I eat before and after my workouts? So really it comes down to a time crunch for your body. So if you have over an hour or about an hour before you're working out, you know, you gotta figure out what works for your body, because honestly, because of the time crunch I always had at college, I had to eat and then run to practice really quick. I could eat a full meal before I work out and be just fine. Whereas someone else might eat and that'll like make them want to puke everywhere. And I totally get it. So you have to figure out what your body can handle and what feels good. But physiologically speaking, if you have over an hour, you can eat a little bit more. So you could get a veggie into your body. You could get protein, fibrous carbohydrate, and it's going to digest and get into your bloodstream where your body's going to be able to grab it on hand and help you crush your workout. So, and the flavor pop would be like some oils, you know, like peanut butter or something like that. So if you're within the hour, what I've kind of heard, there's a lot of different things out there. Like if you Google this, there's so many different things. If you're going for weight loss, this is what I would recommend. Getting some sort of protein in, and then like 15 minutes later, getting a carbohydrate in. Now, the reason being, if you have protein that's broken down in your system, it's giving you amino acids that are floating around in your blood. And these are building blocks. So as you start to work out and you're starting to break down your muscle tissue, the amino acids on hand go right into the muscle. So it helps build it up as you're tearing it down. And then having the carbohydrates on hand, that's glucose floating through your system that your body's able to utilize. It loves it. It loves, loves, loves having carbohydrates on hand to grab and use and help you push hard and strong. So when you go into a workout with nothing in your body's having to grab and pull from different areas. And it burns through glycogen stores at first, which is, not to get too nerdy on you guys, but those are your carbohydrates that have been stored. So it goes through those, and that doesn't last too long, actually. And then it dips into your protein, which is your muscle, and then it'll dip into your fat. So especially if you're doing weights and stuff like that, it's really great to have carbohydrates on hand for your body and protein on hand for your body. And if you're wondering why 15 minutes apart, when it's in the gut, if those two are in there together, sometimes depending on the different type of food, it can actually like ferment and cause more blood to go to your gut. So if you just eat some, let it digest, and then eat some, it just puts it into your bloodstream quicker, if that makes sense. So so that's what I would recommend, and see how that feels for your body. And, you know, all of us digest a little bit differently. The enzymes on hand in our bodies are a little bit different. So that's where you get to really explore and have some fun and figure out what works for you and for